The applicant requested that Champion Media provide a sign language interpreter for the interview, and instead of providing an interpreter, Champion Media canceled the interview and did not hire the applicant for the job.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Boss Watch is a segment that we do every week where we take a look at what laws bosses are breaking in the South. We're going to start in Georgia. Well, actually, we're running low on time, so let's start in North Carolina, where North Carolina-based publishing company Champion Media will pay $102,000 to furnish other relief and furnish other relief to settle a disability discrimination lawsuit filed by the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. According to the lawsuit, a deaf job applicant applied for a job at Champion Media's printing facility in Lumberton, North Carolina. After participating in an initial conversation over the phone and with the assistance of a video relay service, the applicant, who met the requirements for the position, was selected for an in-person interview. The applicant requested that Champion Media provide a sign language interpreter as an accommodation for the interview, and instead of providing an interpreter, Champion Media canceled the interview and did not hire the applicant for the job. Such alleged conduct violates the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, which prohibits companies from refusing to hire individuals because of a disability and, absent undue hardship, requires employers to provide reasonable accommodations to job applicants during the hiring process. The EEOC filed suit in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of North Carolina after first attempting to reach a pre-litigation settlement through its administrative conciliation process. And in addition to paying monetary damages, the 3-year consent decree settling the lawsuit requires Champion Media to conduct annual trainings, post an employee notice, and submit periodic compliance reports to the EEOC. Over in Texas, the U.S. Department of Labor has recovered $100,000 in back wages and damages owed to 31 employees of a Houston plumbing contractor who paid them a salary but failed to pay an overtime premium for hours over 40 in a work week. Investigators with the department's Wage and Hour Division determined Amelie Plumbing, LLC, categorized service technicians and apprentice helpers as salaried employees and did not pay them the correct overtime rate as required by the Fair Labor Standards Act. The division calculated that the contractor owed $50,000 in back overtime wages and an equal amount in damages. The Department of Labor is committed to making sure every worker receives their rightfully earned wages, said Wage and Hour Division District Director Chad Frazier in Houston. The outcome in this case should remind other employers to evaluate their pay practices in order to avoid sometimes costly compliance issues. Employers are encouraged to contact the Wage and Hour Division if they have any questions about compliance. And finally, this segment of Boss Watch Union Busters, covering national updates, is sponsored by Labor Lab. Labor Lab is an employer watchdog organization committed to safeguarding the right to organize through unions, collective bargaining, and mutual aid. They do this by combing through reports that union busters are required to file with the Department of Labor. Here are last week's filings. RB Media in Maryland hired Employer Labor Solutions. Sutter Davis Hospital in California hired Healthcare Labor Solutions. Workers won the decertification election. They decided not to decertify their union. The Academy of Magical Arts in California hired lay labor for $450 an hour, but workers still won the union election. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Puget Sound in Washington State hired Davis, Grimm, Payne, and Mara for $400 an hour. Workers are still in the middle of that union election. Kennametal in Ohio hired Road Warrior Productions for almost $4,000 a day. That union election is still open. Brilliant Corporation in Virginia hired the Crossroads Group for $475 a day. That union election is still open. Amazon in Michigan hired Road Warrior Productions for almost $4,000 a day for a total of $90,000. Amazon in California also hired Road Warrior Productions. And another Amazon in California also hired Road Warrior Productions for $4,000 a day for a total of $45,000. And Kluka Automotive in New Jersey hired MSC Labor Relations and Legislative Consulting. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.